Torah portion 14, Vayera. Exodus chapter 6 verse 2 to chapter 9 verse 35. And Elohim spoke to Moshe and said to him, I am Adonai, and I appeared to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov as El Shaddai. And by my name Adonai was I not known to them? And I also established my covenant with them, to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their sojournings, in which they have sojourned. And I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Mitzrites are enslaving, and I have remembered my covenant. Say therefore to the children of Israel, I am Adonai, and I shall bring you out from under the burdens of the Mitzrites, and shall deliver you from their enslaving, and shall redeem you with an outstretched arm, and with great judgments, and shall take you as my people, and I shall be your Elohim. And you shall know that I am Adonai your Elohim, who is bringing you out from under the burdens of the Mitzrites. And I shall bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov, to give it to you as an inheritance. I am Adonai. And Moshe spoke thus to the children of Israel, but they did not listen to Moshe, because of shortness of spirit, and from hard slavery. And Adonai spoke to Moshe, saying, Go in, speak to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, to let the children of Israel go out of his land. And Moshe spoke before Adonai, saying, The children of Israel have not listened to me, and why would Pharaoh listen to me? For I am of uncircumcised lips. And Adonai spoke to Moshe and to Aharon, and gave them a command for the children of Israel and for Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Mitzrayim. These are the heads of their fathers' houses, the sons of Reuven, the firstborn of Israel, Chanuk and Palu, Chetzron and Carmi. These are the clans of Reuven. And the sons of Shimeon, Yemuel and Yamim, and Ohad, and Yachin and Zochar, and Shaul the son of the Canaanite woman. These are the clans of Shimeon. These are the names of the sons of Levi, according to their generations, Gershon, and Kehat, and Merari, and the years of the life of Levi were 137. The sons of Gershon, Livni and Shimi, according to their clans, and the sons of Kehat, Amram, and Yitshar, and Hebron, and Uziel. And the years of the life of Kehat were 133. And the sons of Merari, Machli and Mushi. These are the clans of Levi according to their generations. And Amram took for himself Jochebed, his father's sister, as wife. And she bore him Aharon and Moshe. And the years of the life of Amram were 137. And the sons of Yitzhar, Korach, and Nepheg, and Yichri. And the sons of Uziel, Mishael, and Altsaphan, and Sitri. Aharon took to himself Elisheva, daughter of Aminadav, sister of Nachshon, as wife, and she bore him Nadav and Avihu, Elazar and Itamar. And the sons of Korach, Asir, Elkanah, and Aviasaph. These are the clans of the Korites. And Elazar, Aharon's son, took for himself one of the daughters of Putiel as wife, and she bore him Pinchas. These are the heads of the fathers of the Levites, according to their clans. This is Aharon and Moshe, to whom Adonai said, Bring out the children of Israel from the land of Mitzrayim, according to their divisions. They were the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, to bring out the children of Israel from Mitzrayim. This is Moshe and Aharon. And it came to be, on the day when Adonai spoke to Moshe in the land of Mitzrayim, that Adonai spoke to Moshe, saying, I am Adonai. Speak to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, all that I say to you. And Moshe said before Adonai, See, I am of uncircumcised lips, and why would Pharaoh listen to me? So Adonai said to Moshe, See, I have made you an Elohim to Pharaoh, and Aharon your brother is your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and Aaron your brother shall speak to Pharaoh, to let the children of Israel go out of his land. But I am going to harden the heart of Pharaoh, and shall increase my signs and my wonders in the land of Mitzrayim. And Pharaoh is not going to listen to you. And I shall lay my hand on Mitzrayim, and bring my divisions and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Mitzrayim by great judgments. And the Mitzrites shall know that I am Adonai, when I stretch out my hand on Mitzrayim, and I shall bring the children of Israel out from among them. And Moshe and Aaron did as Adonai commanded them, so they did. Now Moshe was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spoke to Pharaoh. And Adonai spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, Show a miracle for yourselves, then you shall say to Aaron, Take your rod and throw it before Pharaoh, and let it become a serpent. So Moshe and Aaron went into Pharaoh, and they did so, as Adonai commanded. And Aaron threw his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. But Pharaoh also called the wise men and the practices of witchcraft. And they, the magicians of Mitzrayim, also did so with their magic. And they, each one, threw down his rod, and they became serpents. But the rod of Aaron swallowed up their rods. And Pharaoh's heart was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Adonai had said. And Adonai said to Moshe, The heart of Pharaoh is hard. He refuses to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning, as he goes out to the water, and you shall stand by the river's bank to meet him, and take in your hand the rod which was turned into a serpent. And you shall say to him, Adonai, the Elohim of the Hebrews, has sent me to you, saying, Let my people go, so that they serve me in the wilderness. But see, until now you have not listened. Thus said Adonai, By this you know that I am Adonai. See, I am striking the waters which are in the river with the rod that is in my hand, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Mitzrites shall find it impossible to drink the water of the river. And Adonai spoke to Moshe, Say to Aaron, Take your rod and stretch out your hand over the waters of Mitzrayim, over their streams, over their rivers, over their ponds, and over all their pools of water, that they become blood. And there shall be blood in all the land of Mitzrayim, both in wooden and in stone containers. And Moshe and Aaron did so, as Adonai commanded. And he lifted up the rod and struck the waters that were in the river, in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that were in the river died, and the river stank, and the Mitzrites were unable to drink the water of the river, and the blood was in all the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians of Mitzrayim did the same with their magic. And the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Adonai had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, and his heart was not moved by this either. And all the Mitzrites dug all around the river for water to drink, for they were unable to drink the water of the river. And 7 days were completed after Adonai had struck the river. And Adonai spoke to Moshe, Go to Pharaoh and say to him, Thus said Adonai, Let my people go, so that they serve me. But if you refuse to let them go, see, I am smiting all your border with frogs. And the river shall swarm with frogs, which shall go up and shall come into your house, and into your bedroom, and on your bed, and into the houses of your servants, and on your people, and into your ovens, and into your kneading bowls. And the frogs shall come up on you, and on your people, and on all your servants. And Adonai said to Moshe, Say to Aaron, Stretch out your hand with your rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up on the land of Mitzrayim. So Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Mitzrayim, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians did so with their magic, and brought up frogs from the land of Mitzrayim. Pharaoh then called for Moshe and Aaron and said, Pray to Adonai to take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I shall let the people go to slaughter to Adonai. And Moshe said to Pharaoh, Explain yourself to me. When am I to pray for you and for your servants and for your people, to destroy the frogs from you and your houses, and remain only in the river? So he said, Tomorrow. And he said, Let it be according to your word, so that you know that there is no one like Adonai our Elohim. And the frogs shall turn aside from you and from your houses, and from your servants, and from your people. They shall remain in the river only. And Moshe and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moshe cried out to Adonai concerning the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And Adonai did according to the word of Moshe, and the frogs died out of the houses, out of the courtyards, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together in heaps, and the land stank. And when Pharaoh saw that there was relief, he hardened his heart, and did not listen to them, as Adonai had said. And Adonai said to Moshe, Say to Aaron, Stretch out your rod and strike the dust of the land, so that it becomes gnats in all the land of Mitzrayim. And they did so. And Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod, and struck the dust of the earth, and it became gnats on man and beast. All the dust of the land became gnats in all the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians did similarly with their magic, to bring forth gnats, but they were unable. And there were gnats on man and beast. The magicians then said to Pharaoh, This is the finger of Elohim. But the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Adonai had said. And Adonai said to Moshe, Rise early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh, as he comes out to the water, and say to him, Thus said Adonai, Let my people go, so that they serve me. Or else, if you do not let my people go, see, I am sending swarms of flies on you and your servants, and on your people, and into your houses. And the houses of the Mitzrites shall be filled with swarms of flies, and also the ground on which they stand. And in that day I shall separate the land of Goshen in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, so that you know that I am Adonai in the midst of the land. And I shall put a ransom between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign shall be. And Adonai did so. And thick swarms of flies came into the house of Pharaoh, and into the servants' houses, and into all the land of Mitzrayim. And the land was ruined because of the swarms of flies. Pharaoh then called for Moshe and Aaron and said, Go slaughter to your Elohim in the land. And Moshe said, It is not right to do so, for we would be slaughtering the abomination of the Mitzrites to Adonai our Elohim. See, if we slaughter the abomination of the Mitzrites before their eyes, would they not stone us? Let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness. Then we shall slaughter to Adonai our Elohim, as he commands us. And Pharaoh said, I am letting you go, then you shall slaughter to Adonai your Elohim in the wilderness. Only do not go very far away. Pray for me. And Moshe said, See, when I leave you, I shall pray to Adonai. And tomorrow the swarms of flies shall depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. But do not let Pharaoh again deceive, not to let the people go to slaughter to Adonai. And Moshe went out from Pharaoh and prayed to Adonai. And Adonai did according to the word of Moshe, and removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Not one remained. But Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time too, and did not let the people go. And Adonai said to Moshe, Go into Pharaoh and speak to him. Thus said Adonai, Elohim of the Hebrews, Let my people go, so that they serve me. For if you refuse to let them go, and are still holding them, see, the hand of Adonai is on your livestock in the field, on the horses, on the donkeys, on the camels, on the cattle, and on the sheep, a very grievous pestilence. And Adonai shall separate between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Mitzrayim, and let no matter die of all that belongs to the children of Israel. And Adonai set an appointed time, saying, Tomorrow Adonai is going to do this word in the land. And Adonai did this word on the next day, and all the livestock of Mitzrayim died. But of the livestock of the children of Israel not one died. Then Pharaoh sent, and see, not even one of the livestock of Israel was dead. But the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. And Adonai said to Moshe and Aaron, Fill your hands with ashes from a furnace, and let Moshe scatter it toward the heavens before the eyes of Pharaoh. And it shall become fine dust in all the land of Mitzrayim, and it shall cause boils that break out in sores on man and beast in all the land of Mitzrayim. So they took ashes from the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moshe scattered them toward the heavens, and they caused boils, breaking out in sores on man and beast. And the magicians were unable to stand before Moshe because of the boils, for the boils were on the magicians and on all the Mitzrites. But Adonai strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not listen to them, as Adonai had said to Moshe. And Adonai said to Moshe, Rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh, and say to him, Thus said Adonai Elohim of the Hebrews, Let my people go, so that they serve me. For at this time I am sending all my plagues unto your heart, and on your servants, and on your people, so that you know that there is no one like me in all the earth. Now, if I had stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with pestilence, then you would have been cut off from the earth. And for this reason I have raised you up, in order to show you my power, and in order to declare my name in all the earth. You still exalt yourself against my people, in that you do not let them go. See, tomorrow about this time I am causing very heavy hail to rain down, such as has not been seen in Mitzrayim from the day of its founding until now. And now, send, bring your livestock to safety, and all that you have in the field, for the hail shall come down on every man and every beast which is found in the field and is not brought home, and they shall die. Those among the servants of Pharaoh who feared the word of Adonai made their servants and livestock flee to the houses. But those who did not set their heart on the word of Adonai left their servants and livestock in the field. Then Adonai said to Moshe, Stretch out your hand toward the heavens, and let there be hail in all the land of Mitzrayim, on man and on beast, and on every plant of the field throughout the land of Mitzrayim. Then Moshe stretched out his rod toward the heavens, and Adonai sent thunder and hail, and fire came down from the earth to the earth. And Adonai rained hail on the land of Mitzrayim. Thus there came to be hail and fire, flashing continually in the midst of the hail, very heavy, such as had not been seen in all the land of Mitzrayim since it became a nation. And the hail struck in all the land of Mitzrayim, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail struck every plant of the field, and broke every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, there was no hail. Pharaoh then sent and called for Moshe and for Aaron, and said to them, I have sinned this time. Adonai is righteous, and my people and I are wrong. Pray to Adonai, for there has been enough of the thunder and hail of Elohim, and I am letting you go, so that you stay no longer. And Moshe said to him, As soon as I go out of the city, let me spread out my hands to Adonai. Let the thunder cease, and the hail be no more, so that you know that the earth belongs to Adonai. But as for you and your servants, I know that you do not yet fear before Adonai Elohim. And the flax and the barley were struck, for the barley was in the head, and the flax was in bud. But the wheat and the spelt were not struck, for they were late crops. And Moshe went out of the city from Pharaoh, and spread out his hands to Adonai, and the thunder and the hail ceased, and the rain was not poured on the earth. And Moshe saw that the rain and the hail and the thunder had ceased. Yet he sinned again, and he hardened his heart, he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not let the children of Israel go, as Adonai had said through Moshe. Haftarah, Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 25 to chapter 29 verse 21. Thus said the Master Adonai, when I have gathered the house of Israel from the peoples among whom they are scattered, I shall be set apart in them before the eyes of the nations. And they shall dwell in their own land which I gave to my servant Yaakov, and they shall dwell safely, and build houses, and plant vineyards, and dwell safely, when I execute judgments on all those around them who despise them, and they shall know that I am Adonai their Elohim. In the 10th year, in the 10th month, on the 12th of the new moon, the word of Adonai came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Pharaoh, the sovereign of Mitzrayim, and prophesy against him, and against Mitzrayim, all of it. Speak, and you shall say, Thus said the Master Adonai, See, I am against you, O Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, O great monster, who lies in the midst of the rivers, who has said, My river is my own, and I have made it for myself. And I shall put hooks in your jaws, and I shall make the fish of your rivers cling to your scales. And I shall bring you up out of the midst of your rivers, and all the fish in your rivers cling to your scales. And I shall leave you in the wilderness, you and all the fish of your rivers. On the face of the field you shall fall, and you shall not be picked up or gathered. I shall give you as food to the beasts of the field, and to the birds of the heavens. And all the inhabitants of Mitzrayim shall know that I am Adonai, because they have been a staff of reed to the house of Israel. When they grasped you with the hand, you broke and tore all their shoulders. When they leaned on you, you broke and made all their loins shake. Therefore thus said the Master Adonai, See, I am bringing a sword upon you, and shall cut off from you man and beast. And the land of Mitzrayim shall become a desert and a waste. And they shall know that I am Adonai, because he said, The river is mine, and I have made it. Therefore see, I am against you and against your rivers, and shall make the land of Mitzrayim an utter waste and a desert, from Migdol to Seveneh, as far as the border of Cush. No foot of man shall pass through it, nor foot of beast pass through it, neither shall it be inhabited for 40 years. And I shall make the land of Mitzrayim a desert in the midst of the lands that are waste. And among the cities that are ruined, her cities shall be a waste 40 years. And I shall scatter the Mitzrites among the nations, and I shall disperse them throughout the lands. For thus said the Master Adonai, At the end of 40 years I shall gather the Mitzrites from the peoples among whom they were scattered. And I shall turn back the captivity of Mitzrayim, and I shall bring them back to the land of Patros, to the land of their birth. And there they shall be a lowly reign, being the lowliest of reigns, and never again exalt itself above the nations. And I shall make them few, so as not to rule over the nations. And no longer is it to be the refuge of the house of Israel, bringing to remembrance their crookedness, when they turn to follow them. And they shall know that I am the Master Adonai. And it came to be in the 27th year, in the 1st month, on the 1st of the new moon, that the word of Adonai came to me, saying, Son of man, Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, made his army to serve a great service against Tzor. Every head was made bald, and every shoulder worn bare. But he and his army received no reward from Tzor for the service he served against it. Therefore thus said the Master Adonai, See, I am giving the land of Mitzrayim to Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, and he shall take away her wealth, take her spoil, and remove her pillage. And it shall be a reward for his army. I have given him the land of Mitzrayim as a reward for his labor, because they worked for me, declares the Master Adonai. In that day I shall make the horn of the house of Israel to spring forth, while I open your mouth to speak in their midst, and they shall know that I am Adonai. Brit Chadashah, Romans chapter 9 verse 14 to chapter 9 verse 33. What then shall we say? Is there unrighteousness with Elohim? Let it not be. For he says to Moshe, I shall favor whomever I favor, and I shall have compassion on whomever I have compassion. So then it is not of him who is wishing, nor of him who is running, but of Elohim who shows favor. For the scripture says to Pharaoh, For the scripture says to Pharaoh, For this same purpose I have raised you up, to show my power in you, and that my name be declared in all the earth. So then he favors whom he wishes, and he hardens whom he wishes. Then you shall say to me, Why does he still find fault? For who has resisted his counsel? But who are you, O man, to talk back to Elohim? Shall that which is formed say to him who formed it, Why have you made me like this? Does not the potter have authority over the clay, from the same lump to make one vessel for value and another not for value? And if Elohim, desiring to show wrath, and to make his power known, with much patience tolerated the vessels of wrath prepared for destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his esteem on vessels of compassion, which he had prepared beforehand for esteem, even whom he called, not only us of the Yehudim, but also of the nations? As he said in Hosea 2, I shall call them my people, who were not my people, and her beloved, who was not beloved. And it shall be in the place where it was said to them, You are not my people. There they shall be called sons of the living Elohim. And Yeshayahu cries out on behalf of Israel, Though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, the remnant shall be saved. For he is bringing a matter to an end, and is cutting it short in righteousness, because Adonai shall cut short a matter on the earth. And as Yeshayahu said before, if Adonai of hosts had not left us a seed, we would have become like Sodom, and we would have been made like Gomorrah. What shall we say then? That nations not following after righteousness have obtained righteousness, even the righteousness of belief? But Israel, following after the Torah of righteousness, has not arrived at the Torah of righteousness. Why? Because it was not of belief, but as by works of Torah, for they stumbled at the stone of stumbling, as it has been written, See, I lay in Sion a stone of stumbling and a rock that makes for falling, and everyone who is believing on him shall not be put to shame.